What's up, Rams fans, and welcome back. Today, we're getting into a massive storyline, why the next 2 weeks could decide the Rams season. These upcoming games aren't just important, they could be the difference between a playoff push and falling out of the race entirely. We'll also go over what's going on with Quentin Lake, how his injury impacts this defense, and what the latest PFF grades tell us about who's stepping up and who needs to turn it around. A ton to unpack, so let's get right into it. The Los Angeles Rams are standing at one of those crossroads moments that every NFL season brings. 2 games, 4 halves of football, 8 quarters that could either launch them toward the postseason picture or bury them behind conference rivals. And based on the matchups lined up, both winnable but far from guaranteed, it's clear the team has no room for missteps. The first reason these next 2 weeks matter so much is simple. The Rams are hovering around the middle of the NFC pack. This is the part of the season when mediocre teams start to slip, but resilient teams start to carve out their identity. The Rams don't just need wins, they need momentum. With the offense finally beginning to click again and the defense showing flashes of toughness, Los Angeles is poised for a surge, but only if they capitalize right now. Schedule-wise, these 2 upcoming opponents test different aspects of the Rams' game. One matchup puts pressure on their young secondary, which has improved but remains inconsistent. The other demands that the offensive line holds strong against one of the best pass rush units they'll see the rest of the year. If the Rams handle both challenges, they prove they're a complete football team. If they struggle, especially in the trenches or on third downs, we'll know exactly where the ceiling is for this roster. And speaking of that young secondary, we need to talk about Quentin Lake. Lake has quietly become one of the most important chess pieces on this defense. He's versatile, instinctive, and brings just enough physicality to play multiple roles, from slot defender to safety help over the top. His injury creates a significant ripple effect. Without him, the Rams lose flexibility. They lose disguise capability. They lose a defender who's been reliable in tackling situations where the team has struggled. The update on Lake is cautiously optimistic. The staff wants him back, but they're not willing to rush him. If he's limited or out during these next 2 weeks, the Rams' youth movement in the secondary has to step up fast. Guys like Kobe Durant and Russ Yeast will see more responsibility. And against the offenses they're about to face, missed assignments will get punished. These are the types of game situations that either accelerate development or expose weaknesses. Now let's dig into the PFF grades, because they tell an interesting story about this Rams roster. On offense, some of the highest graded players have been exactly who you'd expect, the stars. But the real revelation has been the offensive line. After years of inconsistency, the unit has quietly become one of the most improved groups on the field. That matters because Matthew Stafford performs at his best when protected. Clean pockets give him time to unlock the full offense, deep shots to Puka Nacua, timing throws to Cooper Kupp, and a steady rhythm that keeps the Rams ahead of the chains. The run-blocking grades also show growth. The Rams aren't a run-first team, but when they're able to establish even a modest ground game, it changes everything. It keeps defenses honest. It slows down a pass rush. It allows Sean McVay to open up the play-action playbook. These next 2 opponents both rank well in defensive disruption, so the offensive line has a chance to prove PFF's grading isn't just a mid-season anomaly. On defense, the grades paint a picture of a young but hungry unit. The pass rush isn't elite, but it's producing just enough to keep quarterbacks uncomfortable. The tackling grades have been up and down, which is why losing someone steady like Quentin Lake is so noticeable. The coverage grades vary dramatically week to week, again showing how much growth is still happening in real time. But one thing is clear, this group plays hard. If they can clean up penalties, simplify assignments, and avoid the breakdowns that have cost them in close games, they have the potential to hold their own during this crucial stretch. And here's the bottom line. The Rams season could pivot right now. The next 2 games aren't must-wins mathematically, but they are psychologically. Winning both would give the Rams a surge of confidence and a legitimate playoff pathway. Splitting the games keeps them hanging on, but barely. Losing both, that's when the season begins slipping out of reach. Sean McVay and this coaching staff understand that urgency. You can see it in the game planning, the adjustments, and the trust they're placing in younger players. This roster isn't the Super Bowl team from a few years ago, but it's also not a rebuild. It's somewhere in the middle, and that's exactly why these next 2 weeks matter so much. They will reveal what this team truly is. If the Rams come out focused, disciplined, and aggressive, they have the talent to take control of their season. If not, we'll be talking about what could have been. Thanks for watching, and if you're a Rams fan who wants more updates, analysis, and weekly breakdowns, make sure you stick around. Your support means everything, and we've got plenty more coming as the season unfolds. Until next time, stay locked in, stay optimistic, and as always, go Rams!